Hello, friends. I made this for. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Lauren, and today I have for you a two for one because it's not just a general tarot reading for Leo season, which we just entered into yesterday, the 22nd of July. But this is also a little deep dive for my patrons on Patreon. Hi, Namium. Just kind of talking about what I've been working on recently and the lightning strike that I've been feeling since this shift astrologically. I don't know if you've been feeling it. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I have. And it's, I think, overall a very good thing because I've been making a lot of art. If you are an artist, which if you're on Patreon, you probably are. You've probably been feeling it. Maybe you haven't, maybe you have, but we're going to do just a quick little talk on Leo. Then a 1 to 2 card pull from the Mother Night Tarot deck, Oracle deck. There are some tarot cards in this deck. Some of the major arcana are in this deck, but Emily Kell, the artist and friend of the show, who has been on the podcast, the Subnormal podcast, hey, put out this deck a few years ago, I believe, just like maybe 2023 or 4. It's a great oracle deck, really love it, especially as someone who reads tarot. I love having the major arcana in there because it's something I already connect with. And these are all of her original paintings. She is an oil painter. She does acrylics as well, but I think she is more of an oil painter by trade and very, very talented. So we're going to be using her deck for today's reading. Leo is the fixed sign of summer. It is a fire sign, and so it is often connected to the ideas around creativity, that creative fire. And though I have no Leo placement, surprise, surprise, I am a Capricorn, Virgo, Cancerian sort of creature. I really appreciate this time of year. It not only deepens our understanding of summer, but it creates like this little fire within our souls, right? Coming right after Cancer, the initiator of summer, Leo really helps us understand the pleasures of summer, the juiciness of creative fire, and of course, the roar of self-expression. So with that said, let's just do a quick card pull for today. And what I'm going to be doing is just a card for clarity, or not clarity, a guiding card for this sign, this part of summer. What is a teacher card we can take? A teacher card from this deck. Ooh, so this one is not one of the major arcana. This is expansion, and this is one of the amazing pieces that Emily Kell has created. This deck is gorgeous. I can't get over the beautiful paintings within here, and this is a great example. Expansion. So with this is a very Leo. This is very Leo to me. This is, to me, coming off as we are being asked to step in, to expand, take up space, but also to not be afraid to be seen. Expansion can sometimes mean taking up more space, but sometimes it's not about just taking up more space. Sometimes it's about letting others know that you're in the space. And sometimes that's seen as like taking up more, but truthfully, it's just about being visual in the way that you move through the world. Perhaps you are more of a backseat driver. In that, I mean, you are giving advice and kind of helping to guide things around, but it's maybe time to take the front seat. Leo in the tarot is strength. So this idea of you don't have to be the loudest in the room to get the attention, but sometimes it's simply let yourself be known. It can be subtle. Sometimes people see Leo as like the loud and frivolous sort of sign in the zodiac, but it's more than that. It's about being authentic to who you are. And sometimes that's not being the loudest person in the room, but maybe your authentic self needs to be seen rather than taking that backseat or not taking credit for what's going on around you, right? Expansion to me is also about being not just taking up space and having the authority to do so, but allowing others to see you in your fullness allows you to be living at your most possible in whatever way that feels. So expansion is our guiding card this season of Leo. Take up the space. Doesn't mean to be the loudest in the room, but it does mean don't be afraid to be seen. Don't be afraid to voice an opinion, especially if it's in an area of expertise. We often seem to think that, well, other people are talking over me, I might as well just let it go, right? Leo says it's okay. It's okay to interject with your personal perspective. Doesn't mean to dominate any conversation, but truthfully, people in your orbit might want to know what you know because they don't know it. So, let's pull one more card just to clarify, or not clarify, but let's ask what card can help us be a guide towards expansion. So we have the clear goal of expansion. What can help us kind of step into that? What card helps us step into this? Now this is one of the major arcana, Temperance. This is a great piece. I love this painting. I share Living Artists with my students, and Emily Kell is an artist I've shared with my students, and this is one of the pieces I share with them because it's just beautiful. It's a moment of reverence and stillness. But Temperance is a card that is all about alchemy. It's about really stepping one foot in and one foot out while being able to balance the elements, or not maybe the elements, but being able to balance the alchemic energy around us. What does that mean? Temperance is also a card about like taking it slow and taking your time, being mindful. Temperance is the card of Sagittarius, which is honestly kind of perfect considering that that is also a fire sign. So we are given this energy to remind us to slow down, hone in, and alchemize. So while we are expanding, while we're finding this place of expansion, taking up space, being seen, being heard, and sharing our knowledge, we should do so with reverence. This is a painting of reverence to me, and Temperance is about reverence. Reverence for yourself, your skills, your knowledge, and your abilities, as well as being able to process it. So as you're taking up space, as you are expanding through this season of Leo, do it from a place of grounded understanding and self-reflection. Those are going to be the most important things to do in this season, I think, is moving with intention. And that's not very different from the last reading I had, but I think it is really about this season because there's a lot of tension in the world. There's a lot happening. And so because tensions are high, because feelings are so enmeshed, and like, there's a lot of things to feel about. I'm fucking feeling them. I'm gonna fucking tell you what. I feel fire. I'm feeling. We also want to ground ourselves in understanding. That doesn't always mean like, okay, I have to know what I'm talking about in this like super heady intellectual way. But if you feel something and have the gut reaction to respond in a certain way, Temperance is a card that reminds us, maybe take a second more. Feel that feeling first. Feel what's processing through you. When we talk about alchemizing, we can also think about like processing, right? Our emotions, how we're feeling, how we're doing. This is not just simple like, I'm taking up space. It's, I'm feeling I'm feeling this and then I'm responding. And that to me is also very similar to strength. Strength is the card of Leo. That soft power, this idea of like, we don't have to overpower with our energy first thing. We can actually take a second, breathe, internalize, respond. We can look at the situation, see what's happening in the space, and then enter into it. So, I hope you found that reading helpful. Again, this is a great deck. I've been working with it at my bedside since I got it, and I just switched it out for a different friend's deck, which I'm excited to continue working with because it's beautiful and I love friendship. And also there's so much thought in mindfulness into all these decks. I love it. So speaking on intentionality and creation, let's talk about what I've been doing, or at least I want to share what I've been doing because Leo season is kind of the season I entered into since I've been back from Ireland. I took a little trip across the pond. Spent a lot of time in nature, a lot of time not necessarily creating, though I did some drawing, but truthfully, I'm feeling energized as hell. So coming back to my creative practice, as I've kind of shared, I've been doing a lot of like co-creating with material to channel in this way where I'm creating out of repurposed materials, using layering, and now I'm finally putting together some of the patches. And it feels like, and please share with me, especially on Patreon, how you've been feeling creatively, because I feel like the creative fire is just kind of like really building up right now. It's also Mercury is going direct today, so I don't know if maybe that shadow of like Mercury retrograde / going direct has anything to do with like how I've been feeling. But I know that that's also been another factor. But for me personally, I've been creating all these elements. And in my practice, as you may or may not know, I really see it as channeling, as like connection. And so there's been so much of this, like I've been creating elements to make pieces of the puzzle. And this week has just been like pieces coming together in the puzzle. I can't describe it other than that. But one of the things I've been doing is finally putting some of these patches to purpose. So for example, this patch has been put with this piece, and I'm going to be putting this patch here and spinning it. And I'm like really excited. I talked to my husband about it because I was going between a few other things. I've also made those ceramic pieces that I shared last summer. I was thinking about adding that here, but unfortunately this canvas is very weak, hence it has a patch, because there was a hole in this canvas and I wanted to continue working with it. But one of the things I've been thinking about in the process of this collection I'm working on is not just channeling as I work, but allowing chance to influence what I do, kind of like how chance influenced the work of Dada artists from the turn of the century. So I've been thinking about Dada quite a bit because Dada was a revolution, as it were, against reason and all of these concepts around how the world must be structured. And as my work is a very spiritual process, kind of looking at that as like the co-creation process, right? And so that has always been present in my work, but I've been allowing it to actually make some moves in the pieces I'm creating right now. This kind of reminds me of that one scene from Obsession. Does anyone know what I mean? The brick. Anyway, I love horror movies too. I know that's not usually what spiritual people are into. But anyway, I digress. I've been really into that process. I've also been doing some painting my patches. So for example, this patch just got a layer of oil on top of it. It's a little hard to really see because it's still so shiny. And of course, we have this guy. You might have seen him on my story. But yes, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, and that's part of the process. Surrender, my friends. Surrender to your creative process. So I've been really getting into that, doing a lot of work in the studio. But yeah. Happy Leo season. That is so Leo season. These tomato earrings are so Leo season. The flip of the hair, which is just naturally happening. I wish it wouldn't. Very Leo season. Leo season is very Leoing right now. So if you feel that way, let me know. And of course, for my patrons over on Patreon, we will have another Patreon session, another live recording on Monday, the 27th. That's coming up soon. Saturn is entering retrograde on Sunday, but on Monday afternoon around noon, we're going to do our ritual recording. So be on the lookout for our poll so you can vote on what ritual we'll be doing this month. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful. I hope you found this interesting as I repurpose old canvases from a studio I used to work at and turn them into pieces to then add to my interesting collection of friends. Anyway, with that said, I love you. Until next time. Yes, Shiva loves you too. Bye-bye.